Check, check.
Okay. Good on that. Good on that. Good here and good here. Everyone, welcome on. If you are on Instagram or on TikTok, stop chewing my cord, Yuki. I'm actually live streaming on youtube.com/TiffanyCosplay, and that is where I'm going to be reading chat. So if you want to ask questions, see the bitey kitty right now because she's toddler and chewing, go to YouTube. And for those here on YouTube, welcome, welcome. My name is Tiffany. I am the owner of Tiffany Cosplay LLC, which is a company that focuses on costume and prop fabrication as well as education. And also, the mascot is now Yuki, the chewing demon kitty. Please don't go in the trash can. Yeah. So. I know, you were fine. There. But yeah, it has been a bit busy. My mom came and visited last week. Yuki. And that was a lot. I didn't get too much work done, but I was still doing a lot of emailing with other companies. There is a lot of stuff happening with workshops all over the country and a bunch of conventions and things like that. So yeah. But Daniel, thank you for the 20 months of being an epic supporter here on YouTube. I really appreciate it. Much love, and there should be a notification. Did my notifications not work today? Maybe it says check dino roar.
Write it down, write it down.
There. Just a little behind, I guess. Resub. Got it. Thank you. But yeah, if you are new to the channel, we'd love to have you as part of our cosplay building community. So subscribe to the channel. It is free here on YouTube. She's getting into trouble again. There. As well as if you'd like to show any support financially, as this is my full-time job and main source of income, you can always join the community and become a member, which gives you access, early access to a lot of my tutorials and some other stuff. So yeah, I really appreciate all of the support. So I'm still working on Lilith. The wings have now been finished making out of foam. I have done all of my priming with Plastidip, and then next is to paint it. Painting, so if you know, my sponsor is Iwata. They are like the Ferrari of the airbrush painting world, and they gave me their large workshop compressor, which I'm so happy for. But that means I had to change up my whole airbrush booth, so everything had to be rearranged, and I've been working on that. And then I also have to get a different hose because the compressor is so large. It's meant for like the hose that came with it is like for really large guns, and mine are not as large, so I have to get an adapter hose, so I can't paint until I get that, so I'm waiting on that. As well as I've kind of just been doing some side projects of finally hanging up some props around the room. So I'll show y'all that. So we've got, that wall is my dual blades. There's two of them over there, you just can't see from this angle. You've got my keyblades over there, as well as the Ashbringer sword, and then my axe is there. And then all the heads will be hung up on another day. I just can't do that by myself. I have to have a second person and also a ladder, because I'm a short person and I can only do so much by myself. So yeah. So, Yuki, what are you doing?
Yay!
Daniel, thank you for the 200 Mexican pesos. I think that's what it's called. For science! We are, as y'all know, I have to wait. How can I word this? I'm going to be doing an international convention, and that is all I am allowed to say. So our goal is hopefully updated and working. It looks like it worked! Yay for science! So our Sparkle is now working, and all of the donations will go towards that because travel is expensive and I have to get a ticket, international travel. So yeah, but I can't say any more about it yet. So yeah, but I will write it down. Also, Real, thank you for the $5 donation. I don't know if that notification went through or not. She is really going at it every time. Okay, I will write it down.
Yay!
There we go. It's just a little behind, but thank you guys for the support. I really appreciate it. This thing. She's the reason my chair is getting worse and worse. But today, so we're actually gonna be working not on Lilith, but it is for Lilith. And if you've seen the picture down here, she's holding Diablo's head. So I decided we're gonna make that. And I've already made the template. I did a really funny, it's kind of falling apart a little bit, but this was my little mock-up. It was so silly. But yeah, from that I kind of made it into a real pattern, and then the head is like this big, and the horns are also like super huge. It's gonna be massive, and so we're gonna be cutting out all of those pieces today. The entire pattern took one full sheet of 4mm EVA foam, and then like another section this much. So it's a lot. It's a lot. You're making your first mock-up corset. Cool. Yeah, welcome on everybody. Sorry, I didn't read everything. Hello. But yeah, let me get it out. Y'all can enjoy her in her mayhem right now, because she's gonna eventually have to go time out, because she's most likely gonna get worse. Okay. And I already cut the one section out from the other foam. So to give you an idea, this was one of the pieces of the horn. And the rest will be on this one. Could you wear the Diablo head? Most likely you can, but I'm probably gonna put interior structural support because it's larger than the other ones and I don't want it to be floopy. But I'll have to see once I have it all together. Oh, I was like, why is there a black thing? Can you not? I love you, but you're being a little troublemaker. Yeah, I can bite you too. Yeah. I'll love you all morning long, but not now. She's like, I don't want anything to do with you. Okay, so first I need to heat treat everything. I have no idea for the people on Instagram and TikTok if this is gonna be loud or not. So good luck. But we're gonna heat treat everything, and this is all of the horn. And as a reminder, all of my patterns I release to my website, which is www.tiffanygordon.cosplay.com after the entire costume is built. So no, you cannot have it in advance. You gotta wait, just like everybody else. So yeah. Alright, so let us start heat treating. And I always like to heat treat my film first because it makes it so all of your lines, when you cut with an X-Acto knife, are a lot cleaner, and when you heat treat afterwards, your precious nice flat lines, they actually kind of gummy bear on and start to round it. So it defeats the purpose of having nice flush lines, as well as if you do it beforehand, you don't have to worry when you glue your pieces together, them coming apart, because the heat gun, if you heat treat your piece at the very end, the heat gun will actually reactivate your glue and cause all of your pretty clean lines to separate, and then you have to fix them again. So that's probably, if you're having an issue, probably one of the biggest things. So yeah, but we're gonna heat treat it first. So let us begin. Thank you, Cliff. And she disappeared. Cool. Okay. Bless. It'll take a little bit of time, but you should start to see, especially with black EVA foam, the color of the foam slightly change. It goes from a kind of dull black to a slightly more shiny black. You're slightly caramelizing the surface and causing all of the pores of the foam on the top part to shrink. And this will make it so it's easier for you to paint the foam and to glue things and just do whatever. And you'll want to do it on both sides. Yeah, I hope everybody's been doing well since it's been 2 weeks since I streamed, I think. I streamed last week. Hi, Yuki. Welcome back. Yuki did not like my mom. She was very grumpy. But despite this, she has been getting a little bit more obedient, and she comes when I call her for the most part now. She's still in the phase of biting because her teeth are still falling out, her baby teeth, and still wants to kind of claw things for attention. Welcome on. Yeah, did anybody else have some updates? I know somebody in our community on Discord was going for a job interview, but I don't remember who. Welcome to the community. We're almost done with the side. Thanks, Cliff. I'm happy Yuki's in here. She actually is, she's scared of wind and the blow dryer, so the heat gun, even though it's not a blow dryer, is kind of good because it's getting her at least used to the sound and not deathly afraid. You're good covering from, oh yeah, you had, oh, you were the one that did the job interview. How did that go? And how was DragonCon for everybody? I saw a lot of crazy shenanigans with the Legend of Zelda people. With the, whatever the character is, like the little gremlin guys, I don't know what they are. There's a lot of funny stuff. Okay. And then we just gotta do this side, and then we'll start cutting out the pieces. The heat gun, for the most part, only does the surface that you're applying the heat to, unless you overheat it and you burn it. Then we'll go through layers. 2mm foam, it will sometimes go to both sides just because it's so thin. You applied for Formula. Yeah, I think it was that. actually where I have to go and get my water hose. There's only like 2 places in town that have it, and there's a Hobby Lobby. Otherwise, it's like some fancy store in Kansas City, which is a 2-hour drive, and I'm not doing that. Dragon Con was so much fun. You met some new people. Good. I liked seeing all the pictures you posted in Discord. There's a few cosplayers that I recognized as well that you were taking pictures of. Almost done. Alrighty. Keep gun to the side for it to cool. And then let me get the cutting board out. I gotta adjust the TikTok people. Okay, there. Yeah, how'd the interview go, really? Welcome back. How's this gonna be best to cut? Ideally, I just want to cut this in 2 pieces, so I don't have to have the whole piece. So we're gonna do that first. Let's see, probably here. I'm just doing a generic cut, so I don't have to deal with the full sheet of foam all at once. And we can do it in sections. Yuki. Hey, don't. Let's not climb in the trash can. Yuki. Put it somehow so you can't knock it over. Maybe like that. Yeah, leave it butterfly. Leave it butterfly. Okay. There you go. You have butterfly now. Okay, we will put this to the side, but up. So the one thing that I've been having to get used to is, because of her, I can't just put what I'm working on the ground because she will eat it. So, went well. They just need approval from the district manager because 8 worked there before. Oh, you worked there before. Okay. So y'all can see a little bit more of what I'm doing. And for those that are on Instagram and TikTok, I'm actually live streaming on youtube.com/tippingringcosplay, and that is where I'm reading chat. So, go there. Okay. Now we will start to cut Maru, and I'm gonna make this a little bit lighter for y'all. of travel. They're gonna be a bit large, and I need to make sure that they'll fit in my travel trunk. She is more interested in the trash can again. That one's done. I want to put this in the trash. We'll see what she does. I'm gonna replace my thing as well. Looks like I need to get one from below. Yeah, it's starting to get a bit low on these. Need to order some soon. Hey, Colin, welcome on. If I could collab on a cosplay, who'd be... I don't really know. I have bad experiences with trying to collab with other cosplayers from the past, so I just never do it. Don't mess with Butterfly. Yeah, mess with Butterfly. Did it turn off? Here you go. So I wouldn't say anything on that one. Same with group stuff. Like, I've tried in the past with friends and stuff, and it just, like, I've done Monster Hunter with some friends and that was cool, but otherwise it's like nobody else does it, just me. I'm the only one that finishes, so it's a little sad. Hey, what are you doing? Let me go get Noodle. Come on, let's get Noodle. Yeah? Is Noodle a Pip? Our two favorite toys, Noodle and Pip. Okay, there's Pip, and there's Noodle. Have fun. Have fun. So Pip is mine. If you Pusheen and Pip's like the side character, and there she goes. But yeah, I had it with my other animals, and she kept going and getting it and picking it up, and she would just carry it around, so I've kind of just given it to her. And then Noodle's her other favorite toy that she's like almost destroyed, and I can't find another one. We ended up getting a snake that kinda is the same, but not quite, and she's not a big fan of it. So nice looking. A new sharp needle, or blade. finish cutting it because the top part I need to look at again. Well, that's okay. It is fun though to cosplay with friends and stuff, but typically if I do it, it's something that somebody else, they already have it made, not we all are trying to do it at the same time. Excited to get Lilith done though. I still have to paint the wings, and then I have to add the wing webbing, and then the wings will be done. The harness, I finished redesigning it. It's already printed, so I just need to clean them up and paint it, add the straps, and it'll be done. And then, besides the Diablo head, the only other thing is the tail. And I've already got kind of the design, how I want to do it, so I just need to start catting it, and then the plan is there's 4 basic parts, and then I'm going to do some molding and casting after I have a base mold, and then I can kind of work with those. I think there's in total 12 different parts based off of my height. So yeah. Hey! Let's not chew. Why are you being so bad and chewing wires today, huh?
Yay, yay, yay!
Why are you doing that? Why are you doing that? The lickies don't make it better. They don't make it better. Andy, thank you for the $5 donation. I really appreciate the support, and that's a cute little critter. Much love. And I will write it down. And it goes towards the international traveling funds for the convention. Peace. Got it. Thank you, thank you. You always had 2 groups you have wanted to do. You think me, Leland. Oh, yeah, I remember Candyland. I've seen a few people cosplay from it. Specifically is it like the Ice Queen or whatever from the game? I don't remember all of the characters. One day I think it'd be cool. So for Diablo, I'm doing Lilith, I've got Ariel, I've got Tyrael. I'd love to also make Malthael, and I always mess with its name with an I. Is it Imperial or I don't remember. But it'd be cool to have like all of the angels that I've made. The only problem is Ariel and Lilith were made specifically to fit me. And I was a lot smaller when I made Ariel. Like, I can still fit in it, but I don't know if anybody else will be able to fit in it. And guaranteed nobody will be able to fit into Lilith because the corset is like custom molded to me at this point because of the leather. But it'd be cool. All of my angels and demons, but same thing. A while back I had started on Malthael. I made half of the patterns for it and I just stopped. I had an oh shiny syndrome of something else, I guess, and just never happened. Is the lower jaw, and these round circles are where the teeth are supposed to go, but I haven't made the pattern for the teeth yet. So I wanted to get the full shape of everything first and then kind of figure out the exact shapes of each of the teeth that I want to do. It's kind of funny because I'm going to have like, this will be the 4th head that I've made. Large mascot kind of heads to add to my collection. Okay, next one. Yeah, cool to see them all together. I'm hoping for everything that by the end of this weekend I can have all parts made for the Diablo Head and maybe still have like a little bit more foam clay to do on it. And then I would like to ideally have the wings painted and then start working on the webbing, but we'll see because it just depends on getting the hose and making sure it's the right one. And then start padding on the tail. Oh yeah, I forgot. So with the horns, I am redoing, because I didn't have enough time when I went to Monsterpalooza with them, is I am redoing the side spikes. I'm going to make them larger and I'm going to 3D model them and print them. And then possibly do some eyebrow stuff, but I'm not 100% sure on that yet. I'm still doing my kind of version and not 100% the reference. Come on, Tiffany, missing me. She's playing with her, it's like a little circle and then the ball can go around. She's playing with that right now in the living room. I'm curious to see what everybody else is going to start now, because this last month was definitely, like, you had Gamescom, and then you had Dragon Con, so everybody was debuting their costumes, and now everybody's done, so they're taking a break, and to see what everybody else is going to start again. So the secret project, I have bought most of the fabric for it. One of the fabrics I can only get 2 yards of, and I needed like 8, so I'm gonna have to order it online. But I'm excited to maybe start that soon. Maybe. It'll depend on some other things. It is going to be a very heavy sewing project. Since I've been a judge for a cosplay contest, what do you think it takes to win Best in Show? Your local con here in Utah. The last 3 winners have all been dresses. I look at craftsmanship on all sides. I like to see that you have... I like to see you used a bunch of techniques, but to master those techniques. So, for me, I'm good at sewing. I'm not like a seamstress by any means. So for armor, I judge really hard on that because I know I feel like I've mastered a lot of armor stuff with like EVA foam, a lot of 3D modeling. So I judge a lot harder on that because I understand what goes through a lot of it. With sewing stuff, I still will judge that really hard, but a lot of times, most competitions, at least the ones I've been in, they'll have where the judges focus more on one thing. So they'll have like one judge that's more armor based, one judge that's more sewing based, one that's more FX, so like doing prosthetics and makeup and wig styling stuff. So I've been doing a lot of those recently, but I really appreciate a lot of the sewing pieces. I'd say a lot of things with sewing too for a cosplay competition that a lot of people do not see unless they are a judge is it's a lot more common for specifically ball gown costumes, the person to start making like the undergarments for those that aren't shown, but you have a build book and you can see that they made the corset underneath the dress, or they made the what are they, the bloomers, or like making the petticoat or the hoop skirt from scratch and seeing all that. So there's a lot more stuff with specifically ball gowns that are harder to see if you're not a judge, just because there's a lot more layers. So with that, you probably are seeing that a little bit more. I don't remember your question, I'm sorry. What was it again? But yeah, for me, it's craftsmanship, just full on. I like to still consider the stage apparel. So I've had some where craftsmanship, they were the best, but they go on stage and they just, nothing whatsoever. And that will kind of knock them down a bit, where somebody that was also at the same craftsmanship level, but maybe not as high, they did a fabulous performance on stage, and that can turn things as well. So you gotta look at both sides for that. A break, what's that? Yeah, there's no breaks for me. I'm busy until July. Yeah. Actually, come next month, it's gonna get really busy for me, and I don't know actually how much I'll be able to stream. It's gonna be pretty much every other week. I'm going to be gone to a different state as of right now. It may change, so yeah. A break is when something stops functioning and you have to repair or replace. Yes, that's called when I get sick. That's what a break is. Otherwise, a break for me is working on another project or doing a chore. That's a break for me. Pokemon! I don't know if that answered your question, Colin. So this part is linoleum.
Yee!
Oh, kind of nice. Welcome to the community. Hi, bro. How are you doing? And welcome on Shadow as well. This was scrap. Yeah, if you're just getting here, my name is Tiffany. I'm owner of Tiffany Cosplay LLC, which is a company that focuses on costume and prop fabrication as well as education. And today I am working on not Lilith, but it's going to be for my Lilith costume, and it's the Diablo Head that she carries around, at least in the statue. So, yeah. And for those that are on Instagram or TikTok, I'm actually live streaming on youtube.com/tiffanycosplay, and that is where I am reading chat and answering questions. So go over to YouTube if you have any. That is, yeah, that's where I'm going to do it. You're okay? How are you? I'm okay. My mom just left, so I'm trying to get everything back to normal. Normal. But it's nice to work on costumes again. I've been redoing my spray booth room. I showed at the beginning of the stream, I hung up a bunch of my props in here. So that way, I felt like, so all of my tutorials, I just had my shield back here because the shield, I can't really just like put it in a corner. It takes up so much room. So I've always just hung it. But in general, I like having empty walls because the room's always claustrophobic and so much stuff happens in here. I like having empty space. But I know for videos, it's more entertaining to have something in the background. So I wanted to showcase a little bit more of my props. So when I'm doing a tutorial and it's your first time seeing, like, you can be like, oh, she actually makes props and not just, like, it kind of justifies that I'm a prop maker? I don't know. That's how I see it as. I still have a ton of people, specifically on YouTube, that just... I had one person come on and was like, the costumes are really cool, but you need to get a new model that's not just average looking. I was like, thanks. So I'm trying to, like, not have that affect me, but also have, like, more interesting backgrounds. I don't know. Yeah. Good insight. Yeah, you think it does. Fan X, they judge off of craftsmanship, originality, accuracy, and level of difficulty. Yeah. Fine. Good. I'm glad to hear. Sometimes you would deem a cosplay is more difficult to make than another. So for instance, let's see. So if you're comparing, I'm gonna do like two sewing things first because that's gonna be easier. If somebody makes a bodysuit, they sew a bodysuit and then they add elements to it, versus if somebody hand makes a ball gown with a hoop skirt they hand make and they embroider everything. Like hand embroidering takes a very long time to do. So skills like that. For sewing stuff, there's different types of seams where some seams are more of a simple seam where some are more complex. When it comes to armor, is the armor fully 360 around? So for me, I don't just look at the top part of your armor, I look at the inside of your armor, which is what every judge should be doing because they also do that for your sewing stuff. So most judges should be flipping the seams. That means they're looking on the underside of the construction as well as they should be doing that for the armor. So is the armor like clean on the inside, or is it, like, it doesn't have to be perfect, but is it like duct taped inside kind of thing? Does the straps match the costume for connecting it, or is it just a nylon strap that you see? Did you make it kind of look like it goes together? In terms of difficulty, now that can vary between each judges. So a judge that, for instance, may only know about sewing and doesn't know about 3D modeling, they may think 3D modeling is super difficult for them. for their point of view. So they may think that that's a more difficult technique. Or for somebody that only does 3D modeling and has never sewn before, they may think sewing is a lot more of a difficult challenge. And I'm not saying either way, but it depends a lot on the specific judges, which is why a lot of times they'll have like a round group of judges who know more on all the different types. Yeah, I always look at the underside of armors. I want to at least see that you use like the plastic dip on the inside, or you have some of it. Like, I don't care if your seams aren't perfect on the inside, but I want to see that it's at least a little bit more together. So, for instance, like 3D modeling, something you can really tell for is if somebody, so a lot of times I'll ask people for 3D modeling and for sewing, did you make your own patterns or are you using somebody else's patterns? Because that is a skill in itself that can give you more, it won't hurt you if you don't make your own necessarily, but you definitely get like a lot more points if you make your own stuff, because you're having to think that much more on how to make the pieces versus following instructions that somebody else has thought through. So like 3D modeling, did you buy a full set of Mandalorian armor and then you just printed it and you cleaned it up? Now it's impressive if you can clean it up properly, but I do want to see, like, are you 3D modeling it too? Because that's going to come into different judging aspects compared to other people at certain competitions. So if somebody 3D modeled all of their pieces themselves, they had to put all the pieces together and clean it all up, versus somebody that didn't 3D model it, but they printed it all, and that person's going to get higher scores, and it's considered a more difficult challenge because they're having to do a lot more critical thinking. I like to see the inside of masks because I like to see how things are put together. I find those, when people make either fursuits or they make like moving wolf skulls, or they're in a full costume, I want to see how does it look on the inside, how are you fabricating it. Cliff. Okay, this one, so I did cut out the second piece already, so I want to see. Okay, so it's just this. Okay, I wanted to make sure that it matched, because this part I didn't quite do. Sometimes when I tape, the lines kind of go away, and so normally I use a really fine point pin that I use for leather, and I ran out, so I had to use this oil-based Sharpie, and it smelled so bad. But it was the only thing I had, and yeah, it was gross. It was gross, but I don't typically like using thicker point pins and things. I like using fine point, because you get just a much nicer line for guidance. Put together with hopes and dreams and probably blood. Yes, I want to see that. We are making good time, but we still have a whole 2/3 of the sheet left to cut. So is anybody else working on new projects now? parts right here are where, which I never noticed it until I actually made the pattern. Like I looked up close at a bunch of different images, and the Diablo Head has 2 small spikes, which are not going to be small for here, but two like spike horn thingies on either side. So this right here, which is kind of hard to tell. So this is the back. I have it so it's more of like a skull, so it's open on the inside on the bottom. And then this part would be the top of the head, and this is down the center, so this will be the right side. The 2 horns go here, the small ones, and then there's a massive, massive horn that comes right here. And then this part is where the eyebrow is, and then this is the eye hole. And then you have like the jaw down here, things like that. So, hi Yuki, welcome back. Dude, no. Hey, let's not go in the trash can again. Leave a butterfly. Wishing you could be working on your cosplay you would work. Aw, that's okay. Well, what would you be working on if you didn't have to work? Like a job work. And cheers guys, thank you for watching. Hope you're enjoying the stream today. Hi gentlemen. I would say leather is more difficult to work with than foam, because foam you can manipulate to look like a lot of different things, and it's really lightweight. Where leather, there is a lot that goes in. Stop it. And you have to have a lot of knowledge with the leather. It is not mistake friendly, so if you mess up, unlike foam, there's a very very noticeable mess up then. Oh, you're gonna bite me now? But then you gotta lick me, right? You didn't lick me, you normally lick me. She normally does like a nibble and then she licks right after. Like, it's okay. Let me get Pip. Also, leather. So I find that a lot of people that are new to leather, you can see it more versus how they cut. So cutting leather straps, a lot of people will just cut leather as a straight line, and then you have this really sharp edge. They don't go in, and typically with like leather straps and things, you have a tool that basically cuts that edge down, and then you use another tool to round it and make it look more natural. You also are limited to different, so like people want a leather finish to foam. Well, leather can be smooth though, so it's more of you're wanting a rugged leather finish. So if you want that on leather, you still have to do that to your leather. So it's not like it's funny sometimes I see it, but yeah, there's a lot behind leather that it's a very, very difficult material to work with, I would say, for compared to EVA foam. Especially if you want, so EVA foam, to get your thickness, you can stack it up and you can carve it and sand it. Where leather, you can't really stack it up too much. I mean, you can, but it's not something you really do. So if you're making leather armor, which there's a few people that I followed that their leather armor, I swear it doesn't look like leather, it looks like metal. It is gorgeous. And they have it where each piece individually moves, and they go through and like doing all the hand carving and the hand stamping is such a work of art. Yeah, my leather is okay too. It's not like anywhere near that though. Yeah. You're working on a gender bend Sherlock Holmes. It's a commission for. Oh, okay. I was like, isn't Sherlock Holmes? What was that sound, Yuki. There. Was Pip blocking it? Oh. Yeah, you had me confused for a second because it's like, I don't know Sherlock Holmes was that, but yeah, makes sense now. First mission. Working on a ginger bin mouthfeel. Ooh, very cool, very cool. Yeah, that was, we were talking about that earlier, how I wanted to make mouthfeel before, but I kind of got distracted and didn't make it. Dr. Pepper for the win! Yes. Starting templates for a, that's from Berserk? Oh, Berserker? Cool. Trying to think. I can't think it in my head. Yeah, some of these pieces I'm going to have to cut or sand at a different angle. Sometimes you sneak over to your craft area and brainstorm ideas, but you work from home, so you have to be careful not to get too distracted. Currently working on a corset for the first time. Very nice. Yeah, when I used to have a full-time job as a jewelry designer, I would, on my downtime, when I wasn't really working, I need to like have a different brainstorm besides designing jewelry. I would do all of my like craft list and stuff and do research on things. Hey, not that. You're researching for your ball gown, but working on other cosplays in the meantime. A new shelf for the Balzan and your Halloween costumes. Is pleather easier to work with than real leather? Yes. Yeah, pleather, so pleather is more of like just a fabric and it's made to look like leather, but you can't do everything with it like real leather. So for me, like if you want to use pleather, I'll go for it. Like I'd say for judging and everything, I will say there are some people, some judges that frown upon using real leather or animal products. In my case, I don't think you should judge based off of that, even if it's your beliefs. It should be based off of just the craftsmanship side. There's a bunch of stuff kind of going around like that. But there are some people, just to be aware, for which materials to use kind of thing. With leather though, you can't really do wet leather bending with pleather where you do molds out of it. You can't really do like your stamping kind of techniques. It's more of if you want it, I would use pleather in substitute.
Write it down, write it down.
Oh, Calvin, thank you for the remember of being an epic supporter for 18 months. Appreciate the support. But yeah, for my Lilith costume, I'll use that for example. So that is full leather. Like the whole corset, the breast area, the sleeves, part of the skirt is all leather. If you do not like leather, you could substitute all of that and use it for pleather instead to give a similar look. I will say with pleather, you do have to do a bit of fabric manipulation to make it look more like leather and not, I don't want to say a cheaper version, but I don't know the exact word. Like more authentic, but you can still have it look pretty good if you're wanting to use it more of a fabric way, where if you're wanting to use leather in a way where you're you're making it into a breastplate and you're forming each breast on a mold so the leather will be hardened in that shape, and you're wanting to do like traditional stamping, like if you see a leather saddle and you see all the fine stamping or all of the braided look, that's all individually hand stamped, and you can't really do that too well with leather. At least in my experience. Got it! Thank you, thank you. I'll say it's a lot cheaper too if you use leather versus leather. The leather cape, yeah. I love working with leather. It's one of my favorite materials just because I can do so much with it. But I try to use leather where, like when I make my costumes and I decide which materials to use, I kind of have a general knowledge of what each material will let me do with it. And I like using leather for a lot of trim because it makes it look really rich versus like if you were to do just a fabric wrapped EVA foam trim. They can look nice, but a lot of times doing that technique, you see, especially with sharp corners and angles, you see all of those edges and they can look sometimes messy, versus if you were just to cut leather out and use it as a trim, then you don't have that on the sides as long as you do your full coloring on the sides, if the color doesn't go all the way through. I like how authentic leather looks, but I try not to overuse it, and I save all of my scraps. So most of my projects, I'm using leather that I just had for a long time, and I'm still going through it. She carried me about halfway down the hall. Over there. What is everybody's favorite material to work with? Like EVA foam, fabric, Warbler, anything else? Say for me is airbrush painting leather is my favorite, and then I really enjoy working with foam. The fun thing with this one is, so I only made half of the pattern because I just mirrored everything. So everything is like E1 and E2. Hand stitching leather and aluminum sheet for different armor pieces. Oh, like actual. I was cooking earlier, so it's like aluminum sheet. I was thinking tin foil, like doing tin foil as an armor. It's like, how does that work? Because I've done it for making patterns, but yeah, working in metals, that can be a lot. Good potato. All good. Well, you can appreciate, like, if you don't make stuff, what is a material you like the most in costumes? So you like foam armor or fabric parts more, or I don't know. You should know. You've been around enough, Daniel. You should know everything. You like working with foam, but fabric is still your favorite? Oh, I didn't realize that. Yeah, I would have guessed foam would be your favorite, though. Every maker should be allowed to show off their many aluminum foil templates. I mean, yes. Yes, this is what we're making right now. Bonjour. I attempted to start 3D modeling and I was like, no, I don't want to do that. Because a lot of times with 3D modeling, to have it roll out to actually work, it doesn't still work. You still have to kind of put it together. So I was like, I'm just gonna do a base thing and it's already gonna be covered in foam clay, so it just has to kind of look like it and know that I'm intending to do this, because it's got so many like ups and down parts for detail and I just couldn't be bothered. So I made that silly thing. It's like a 4-inch wooden ball. If you remember, I got a wooden ball for Megumin's stuff, and it's like, this is heavy. We're not gonna use this, so I used it for that. And then it's just a bunch of tin foil, like aluminum foil, and then masking tape kind of holding it together. And then I did another saran wrap over it with masking tape to draw all my lines. The traditional way, right? Right? Ready bias, cut, fear crosswear, plus everything you know you've learned from you. What? Trying to improve your foam smithing so you do that more. Oh, okay. Yeah, one of the things I want to improve on is my mold making, which is what, for Lilith's tail, I want to do. So the idea is I'm going to 3D model, so the tail is going to be in total, I think, 12 different pieces individually, and then I'm going to 3D model 4 pieces that I'm then going to resin print, and those are going to be my master models that I will clean up and do all my detail to at the workbench, and then I will make a mold of each of them, so then I can pour my sponsor Smooth On, they I don't know the exact product. I have it downstairs. I don't remember off the top of my head, but I'm gonna use that to pour in, and it's like stupid lightweight. It's even lighter than the material I used for the wings. I wish I knew about it. Like if I was to remake the wings, I would have done the whole thing out of that. But the plan is to kind of do some more mold making with it. Cause why not? I still like Lilith at this point is I'm taking my time. I'm not just running through it, which is good but also bad. Like the Oh Shiny, like I was full on making this project and I was so like gung-ho. Now I'm just like, I'm making this. Yeah, I like it. It's good. It's one of my favorites. I love the corset, but I'm really tired of it because I get tired of making costumes like the same project after 2 months, which is why most of my stuff is done under 2 months, because I just don't have the attention span to stay on it anymore. So yeah, but we're still here. We're still here. Your favorite cosplayer is Daniel. Yes, mine too. Hi Susan, welcome on. How are you? My blade is a little dull. Still able to work with it though. Daniel. Do you have another concert this weekend, Daniel, you have to work? Or any more US stuff? You seem to, like I found it funny, like what was it, a week or two after I finished the convention in Houston, you went to Houston, and then like after I left Austin, you went to Austin and things like that. I don't know, maybe you'll travel to Panama. I don't know. Cheers, guys. Thanks for watching. Good, got your stitches out and graduated to a boot. Oh, yeah, I forgot about that. Does it still hurt? I've never broken anything or had stitches, so I don't know exactly how that goes. But glad you're going through different stages of it now. Yeah. How did you make leather armor look more authentic and less Ren Fairy? Nothing against Ren Fair armor, just looking for some tips and different leather. I would say for a lot of Ren Fair armor, it is a piece of leather that is bent, and like added stitches. It's not really, there's not a lot of dimension for a lot of Ren Fair armor for the mass production, because those are easy to make, they're easy to sell, because it's more affordable. I'd say in general, for taking your armor from traditional Ren Fair kind of look to more authentic and realistic would be actually adding weathering to it. And if you want it to be a traditional kind of weathering, you can do where when you're doing the leather dye, instead of doing it as one kind of one pass, you can go in towards the edges and add just a little bit of a darker mix and kind of buff it so it has more shadowing. Adding where so you can technically still stack your leather. So like if you think of, what do I have in here? All this stuff is arm, or like not that kind of thing. Rounding your edges using, so like I was saying, like where you, do I have the tool here? So this is the tool, I don't remember the name of it. It's like a V, and you're used, so if you cut a piece of leather, just rounding your edges, so this will actually cut that edge and round it partly. And then you use this part, or you use, there's also the circles to kind of round it and make it where it doesn't look like it's straight cut up and down. Going for a wax thread versus a decorative leather thread is one thing. Let's see. I had something in my head too. Forgot where I was going. I'll think of it some more. It's hard to explain. I don't have any leather in front of me, and I'm not like thinking of leather at all. My brain is so fried on that. But yeah. Different thicknesses too. So that was my other thing I was going on. So a lot of times with leather is a lot more affordable if it is thinner, very thin, at least from Tandy. And just upgrading to a thicker leather will give it more authentic look. So it's like a sheet of paper versus like a sheet of foam is the difference. And it'll look a lot better, in my opinion. Got a bit excited seeing the city, and then you saw the unmatching dates and stuff. Yeah. After stitches removed, on and off pain. Okay. Well, that's good. That's not constant pain though. How long of a healing process do you still have? Glendale Saturday and Las Vegas on Sunday. Still the same tour. That's cool. I might be going through Las Vegas. Maybe. We'll see. Is this one of your more elaborate cosplays you've done? So this, what we're working on, is the Diablo Head, which is just a traditional head that I've made. So it's not elaborate at all for me. A lot of pieces, but not compared to some of the things. For the full Lilith build, I would say it's one of my best crafts. Actually, it is the best craftsmanship I've done for like the dress and the corset and all the leather work. The wings are the most elaborate design just because they are so massive, and there's a lot of engineering that I had to do behind the scenes, especially since I had to fly with it. A lot of designing going into the harness to make sure it can support all of the weight, and because most of the wing armors that I do, they don't have a low V that goes down to here. So a lot of my harnesses, I have a strap that goes right under the breast. Well, I can't do that with Lilith because the low V goes down to like here, and so the strap was jammed. So I actually had to design the harness to go lower on my back and then over, because I've done so many harnesses over the year, each design has improved. I've started doing with a lot of my harnesses, instead of just having a flat plate, I have it where, so like naturally your back is not flat. You have a slight curve right here in general. So I have it where the back part is flat, that's not touching my body, but the side that touches my body, I actually have slight curvatures to kind of go with my body. It also helps with not having, like if I didn't have there, you typically with wings, you'll see a lot of people, they kind of slunch a little bit, like forward, to kind of offset with having the heavy weight. Also the design of the wings for this one, so a lot of people with wings, they have it where they go kind of back at a 45 because that's the prettiest design. But that causes the most strain to your back. So the best design is actually directly to the sides for balance. But with Lilith, in this case, I had to have it where it kind of does a cage around the body. So I had to offset it where it went slightly back, but then went forward enough to kind of, like it doesn't have a huge round, it's slight. But so it'll balance properly. And it's fine, it's just very, like for people that saw my first wear test of it, it was weird wearing it because the harness, I literally had it pinned together with sewing pins. Like that was it on the nylon, and nothing was sewn, nothing was like, so it was already kind of finicky with that. And then the design was not the finalized one, and it also wasn't the full harness. So the full harness has a strap at the top, a strap here, and then a strap lower, where in the video you don't see the lower section of the harness. And the whole piece is also designed not to be worn on the outside of the costume, but to be on the underside of the costume, so it's completely hidden. So with that, the harness, when you wear it, like if you see in the video, it kind of shifts back and forth. That's because I just have it barely sat on. Where when it's worn correctly, it shouldn't shift at all left or right. It should be perfectly still, like perfectly still and centered. Yeah. Probably close to 6 months to a year. Ooh, I'm sorry. Well, I hope it's 6 months and not a year. So here on a leather kick, is there a leather armor garment from TV movie or history that inspires you? I don't know offhand. I love watching historical shows. So like Bridgerton is nice. I really liked like all the Game of Thrones stuff, all of the House of Dragon. What's some of the other ones? I can't remember offhand. I haven't watched a bunch in a while. I've been watching mostly Korean shows right now. But I watch a lot of those and I kind of just analyze them. I don't know offhand a specific leather one because I don't just look for one material. I kind of just analyze the whole design. Oh, it's good. He has the best questions when he comes on for my streams, and he makes me think. And you can see my little hamster wheel turning and me trying to think on the fly of like, I'm not thinking about this material, I'm working with something else, and then I'm trying to come up with my answer, but not just be like bullshitting it. I want it to be a real, like, this is that. So I appreciate it. Sometimes my brain is just like, I can't think right now. It just depends on the day. What have I done today? Yeah. I am really tired though. So hanging everything on the wall, it might not seem like there's a lot of stuff hung, but that took 3 hours for me to do last night. And it was a lot because each one, so they're all on brackets, like little L brackets that has 2 holes. So I had to first figure out where I want the prop. While holding the prop, I have to get my piece, and it's supposed to be hidden under the piece, and then I would have to mark my holes. I'd have to use my stud finder, see if there's a stud, which I think only one had a stud, everything else was not. So I had to drill specifically for are they drywall screws or drywall anchors or something like that? I don't know what they're called. I know what they are though. So I had to put those in, hammer them in, and then I had to in, or like the screws, but each piece hung in here for the most part has 2 of them, so then I have to go and get the same prop, put it back up, and then see where's the other one gonna be. So it was a whole thing, and also I didn't use any stools or ladders. I just stood on the tables, and each of the table is a wee bit wobbly, and my ankles are not the best, so I'm a bit sore from that. Like laid in bed last night, I was just like, my legs hurt so bad. That's what happens when you get old. And then you also have like injuries from years ago that have never healed. Yay, winter guard. You're a monster, that's the problem. It's all good. I'd rather you ask questions than not have any questions. Yeah. It's funny though, because when I see your name, I'm just like, okay, what's the question gonna be? What's it gonna be? Almost done cutting all the pieces. A few more left, a lot more smaller ones, and 2 long ones. So you hold the link sword in the shield from now. Hey, that works. That totally works. So I'm glad you were able to do that. Yeah, I don't have the other things in here. So I'm still gonna hang above the door. That's where Fishbone's gonna live. And then I've got the 3 heads that are gonna be there, which I forgot that Moonman had a hat. It's been living inside of him. I was like, oh yeah, because I moved them all around. And then underneath them, in between the 2 or the 3, I'm gonna have the Sans mask, and then my Kojin Sara mask as well. So kind of be like a mask wall. And then the Diablo Head is probably gonna just live on top of my my shelving, because it's gonna go out a lot, but I don't really know. I didn't know. Hopefully y'all will appreciate it in the tutorials. Yes. Can't wait to make the Ghost Runner 2 cosplay and enter into the contest. Nice. As of right now, for the rest of the year, I'm finishing up Lilith and then Diablo Head, which I'm counting as 2 separate pieces. Hence why there's a new thumbnail for this live stream, I guess. And I do plan on doing a tutorial for it too. Hopefully it'll all work out. We'll see how much I change the design as we go. But this, the secret project, which I'll still be working on through part of next year. And then something else, just because I'll want another project or something. But I'm gonna be really busy. Ugh. I'm trying not to think about it. I looked on, so I have on like my upcoming events on my website, and I realized I have like, let's see, I have like 7 or 8 upcoming events that are, and only one of them is actually officially what it is. Everything else is like, more news coming soon. Because I can't say all the stuff yet, and it's just like, oh, so busy. Which is good. It's good. I like being busy. So yeah, but we'll see. We will see. Put my head on the windows during Halloween, you're sure would be scary for people. Oh, I'm sure. I just have like every single window, I'll just put one of the heads and put like a little light underneath it so they glow. Like imagine walking by and you see this larger than like bunny head out of the window, and then you see like the moon man and a mule looking out, and then having the Diablo head. But yeah, no, I'm not trying not to decorate for Halloween because I don't want trick-or-treaters. I want to go out and I don't want to deal with that. Also, last year we only had one group because our house is in a really weird location. And most people here, they go to the stupid rich people that are like lots and lots of decorations. There's like a whole neighborhood, or they do the trick or trunk where you go and you have your cars. That's a huge thing now. My house is skipped for the most part. If your friends have not been busy, run. The end of the world is coming. I've been balancing things low. Like every day I've been having time to game. I've been playing Genshin again, as well as I'm still playing 7 Days to Die. That's been fun. I'm almost maxed everything though. I'm like, they changed it so crafting certain things you have to have like the book skills now, and they made things higher. And I think the last thing I have, so I have a 4x4 truck now in the game, or Jeep or whatever, and the last thing is the gyrocopter, I believe. But it's still a lot of fun. It's just some of the buildings I remember from when I played it 3 years ago, and so the puzzles are not as fun because I've already technically done them. But that's why I want the gyrocopter, because there are some things that are new, and I want to be able to fly around and see like, oh, this is a new type of building, or this is a new monument thing, because I haven't seen any monuments yet. Then open house for your department. Actually, thanks for stopping by, Tucson, and best of luck with everything as well as the injury. Yeah, Genshin, I'm not in the new area yet. I decided to wait because I'm still in the desert, and they added like 2 new sections since I played last. So I'm trying to kind of finish the desert area because I hate the desert area now. I like the pyramids, but then they kept adding more shit, and I'm just like, So yeah, I'm waiting for to do the new area till later. And I still need to defeat Diablo. I remember, I think I act I was in, but it was one of those where it was like main story. I'd finished a lot of it, and I was watching one of the cinematic cutscenes after doing like a full boss, and the connection like got lost, and so I didn't want to watch the cutscene again because it was like a 15-minute cutscene, so I stopped playing, and I need to finish it still. I still do mini motorways too every now and then. I have that in the living room. It's a nice little side puzzle kind of game. And eventually start streaming on Twitch the gaming stuff. I just have been a bum and have not done research for a monitor yet. That's really like the last thing that I need for streaming. Because I need a second monitor so I can read everything. Final cut! Final cut! Huzzah! Ugh. Yay! We finished cutting everything! And I think one dropped on the ground. Yeah. That is all the pieces. Eat. Water time. You talked about aging weathering techniques for leather. What about battle damage? You can do the same thing with, so it depends on what type of battle damage you want. You can still do the same kind of thing where, like EVA foam, if you get a Dremel, you can still sand parts with a sanding drum and cause damage that way. You can do hammer marks, so you have like a chisel and you hammer it kind of thing to give your techniques. If you don't want to do the wet leather kind of molding process or stamping. You can do, so I had one for Lilith, it's a file cleaner. I used that for weathering because it was like a lot of scratches. You can use X-Acto knives. Let's see. I also had it's basically like a giant scrape for leather, and I use that to thin out the edges. So if you want your leather to look like it has ran across the ground like the bottom of a skirt and has ripped over time, using that to rip the bottom and thin out the leather is something you can do for weathering. And then just for me, so I've gone away from traditional leather dyes and I just do airbrush paint. So that has been a really easier way to give weathering, to just airbrush paint kind of the weathering. The candy line from Cratex Colors is the best for that too, for doing like, you do a mix of the candy colors and then water, and you can dip your leather in that and you can spritz it, and you can get that kind of stained look of it going through mud without putting mud on it. You can still do that, but yeah. That's kind of how I do it. You went to the eye doctor and got a 0.25 points blinder in one eye? I have not been to an eye doctor, so I don't know. I don't know. Isn't like 20/20 perfect vision? So does that mean you have like better than perfect vision if it's 0.25? I'm not exactly sure. Let's see. We're gonna stack the light pieces together. Still missing a few. Okay. J, that one is A. It's the one, because I ran out of foam, the one gray one. I know for some of these I do have to sand. Glasses, contacts are usually measured in points. The more points, the worse your vision is. So does that mean you have bad vision? Okay, there's our other parts. Okay. I don't really feel like gluing today because I don't want to put on a respirator. Yes, you need glasses? Okay. Yeah, I would not have known. So, congratulations, I guess? But yeah. Twos of everything. So we are good to go. And I don't want to sand right now either. So I think I might call it quits. So that's all the pieces here. Which actually doesn't look like too much compared to a lot of stuff that I made. They're just large pieces that when they wrap around, they're gonna have a lot. So yeah, and it's gonna be a lot of thinking. That's what tomorrow will be. Tomorrow will be a sanding and gluing day, I think. Yeah. Yep. But that will be tomorrow, and today I will go and play games and relax some. So I think I'm going to call it quits for today for the stream. A little early, about an hour early, but I really don't want to glue right now. Insane. But probably next week we will stream on Tuesday. It's getting to the point where I either stream on Tuesdays or Thursdays, just depending on Air Force stuff. So yeah, that's been why everything keeps going back and forth. So yeah. But most likely it'll be working on this, maybe doing some foam clay. If not, then we'll see. we'll see. Maybe there's another project that I'll start. There's good possibility of that too. But yeah. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you are new to the channel, we'd love to have you as part of the community. So subscribe to the channel. It is free on YouTube. If you'd like to show any of blah blah blah. If you like to show financial support, you can always join and become a member, which is a monthly subscription thing. Or you can always donate with Super Chat, and all the funds for that are going towards the International Convention for air travel. Oh, it's expensive. It's expensive. But thank you so much for watching. Thank you to Daniel for the resub. Daniel also for the 200 Mexican pesos. Real for the $5, Andy for the $5, and Colton Bay for the remember as well. I really appreciate all of your support, and I hope you have a wonderful weekend, and I will see you next time. For those that were on Instagram and on TikTok, I was actually live streaming on YouTube. .com/Tiffany Cosplay. So go over to YouTube next time. Yeah. Hey.